abstract understanding of brand marketing is like, let's buy some billboards, to a very actionable, like step-by-step process. It's fairly generic here because we wanted each and every company to kind of work with it in their particular way. But now you have this sort of stack of a lot of activities which you understand, can measure, and if you nail all of them, or at least a like fair amount of them, you can definitely strengthen your brand. Now, I guess it's the right time for us to zoom in on the ASO, on the ASO part of it, and see how existing brand can be leveraged in ASO. Kaiser?
Yeah, now let's move to the ASO and brand dynamic, and we'll start with how existing brand can be leveraged in ASO. Yeah, so basically, after you invested all this time, money, and effort into building your brand, you obviously want to receive everything back in form of new downloads, users, subscriptions, etc. For this presentation, we will focus on how you can maximize your ASO output by using your brand. So first of all, utilizing brand in your keyword optimization strategy will definitely help you to increase visibility. According to Uptweak, 65% of downloads come from branded keywords. And this is something that we also saw for many of our clients. On the right, you can see the graph that is basically the downloads over 1 month. This is the search data from Google Play Console. And as you can see here, brand keywords account for 65.3% downloads by keywords. But that's not the most important part. The most important is that brand keywords also convert and retain better. So how you can utilize those brand keywords in the best way? First of all, you have to consider misspellings and abbreviations for your brand. Although App Store is pretty good normally in attributing those brand keywords towards your app, it's not always the case with some common misspellings or abbreviations. So if you are in the situation like sixth here on this example, you should definitely consider adding those keywords into your metadata. But don't forget to stay dynamic and also keep testing, because later you can actually remove those misspellings or abbreviations back from your metadata in favor of generics and still keep the ranks that you gained. And this is how it works. So basically, if algorithm doesn't have any information on how the certain keyword relevant towards your app, it will not really consider it even for ranking, which is why you need to add it into your metadata. And what happens next? The algorithm actually assigns you a rank, and then it keeps checking over and over again the conversion of your app to for this search term. And if it finds that it's highly relevant, which it is because it's your brand search term, then it assigns you the rank number 1, and then this is the right time for you to try and remove it. And this is very likely that you can still keep your ranks there. Next one, when localizing, you have to keep in mind that native speakers of the language you are localizing for will often search for your brand in their language. And here you can see example from Uber. This is Uber in Russian, Hebrew, Japanese, and Korean. And this is going to be the same for any language whose writing system is different from Latin. And not only that, you also have to consider those misspellings or abbreviations from those languages as well. Regarding this point, also we would like to mention about the trick that some of developers use, which is basically, so App Store doesn't allow you normally to add your competitor's brand name into your metadata. You're going to be penalized if you do. But if you're doing something like this, if you're adding this brand name in the other writing system, then actually it may go. It may be okay for you. So not only brand search terms actually help you to bring up your visibility, but also their popularity can indicate when your brand becomes stronger or weaker, and also informs the success or failure of your brand campaign. So sometimes we would see something like this for our clients, which you see right now on the screen. And if we know that there were no active ASO efforts in place, we see that the keyword ranks are stable, and also we know that there were no other campaigns running at the same time. We would definitely go and check the search popularities for brand keywords, and normally we see the active growth there. Now, by including brand in your creative assets, your app can drive more downloads. So first of all, you have to understand that using your brand assets on the store product page is really beneficial in the locales where your brand awareness is high. This is pretty obvious, but I thought it would be still nice to mention that the results you can see here, these are, by the way, real results from our experiments from one of our clients. Uh, it is likely that you will get there, but also you should not expect that from everywhere. Yet you can also give those branded assets a try in the locales where your brand is not so strong. This is because this will help you in the long run to grow your brand instead of getting the additional installs right now. This is another one that we actually, I think we keep talking over and over again about that, but including a brand watermark in the icon often has positive impact on conversion. So here is another example from one of our clients. Here we used app name and also brand name, and their case probably is more interesting because basically here we're describing the situation where we have a big brand who is launching a new app, and here, for example, if we are using a brand name on this new app's icon, or this also can be screenshots, or this also can be textual assets such as short description, this can also help us bring up the new app, gain downloads faster. And last but not least, you have to ensure consistency in your creatives between different organic and non-organic channels. This again works in two directions. First of all, this will help the users. This will help to reduce friction for the users that are coming from the paid apps, so they will feel more secure, probably more secure downloading your app from the store if they see the same creatives. And of course, this is not only about digital, but also non-digital marketing channels. If you keep it consistent, this will help you to grow your brand awareness in the long run as well. And third point, a well-established web or app store presence will ensure quality referral traffic. So if you already grew a strong website before launching your app, you can direct your web traffic towards the new app. This can help you in two ways. So first of all, you're bringing in new downloads for the app, which will in its turn help you to go up in the category ranking, which is purely depending on the number of downloads that you're getting. In its turn, you will also increase the browse downloads, because the higher you are in the category, the more people are going to see you, and the more the likelihood that they will download your app. And second way how the web traffic can be helpful to you is if you are using the third-party A/B testing tools. So basically, the way they work is they create two fake pages, two fake App Store pages, and then you have to. So first, you have to pay for those third-party tools. Then they create two, like when you're A/B test, they create two fake App Store pages, and then you have to direct traffic from somewhere towards those two pages. Normally, the way it works, you would just take your paid ads and then direct traffic from there. But if you have a strong website and you have a lot of daily visitors, you can simply direct your web traffic from there towards your A/B tests. So you can also do the same if you have a strong app. So basically cross-selling, or what Anton was mentioned before. Yeah, that's okay. We can move. Yeah, so now let's move to the second part, which is how ASO can help in building the brand. We're going to talk about two cases. First of them is basically if you're an emerging brand, how ASO can help you building that. And second part will be about the established brand. If you want to rebrand, how you can utilize the A/B testing. So first one, as an emerging brand, you can optimize the three most important ASO assets as part of your brand strategy from the get-go. So first of all, what are those three most important assets? Anton, if you could
Oh
move to
yeah.
the next slide. Thanks. Yeah, so basically we're talking here about icon, title, and subtitle. And why are they most important is basically because they're visible everywhere from where your app can be potentially downloaded organically, including your product page, search results, category lists, uh, any kind of browse, and also featuring. So what's also important here is that usually these three assets are heavily managed by branding guidelines. And here at Phiture, working with big brands, we often have problems with, you know, um, with actually using full hour strategy, full hour ASO strategy that we created for a certain client, because, for example, because they do not allow us to optimize the user-facing assets, which are title and subtitle, let's say. And at the same time, both of those assets are really important and actually crucial for the keyword optimization. As an emerging brand, you have the opportunity to to create them with already ASO best practices in mind. So first of all, to do so, you have to do a keyword research when you're still developing the product. This will help you to understand what are the keywords that you're fighting for. And after that, you have to come up with a short brand name for your app, and then ultimately include those keywords in there. Of course, it has to make sense. It's if we go to the next slide, we can see some of the extreme example. This is the situation actually that was happening, I think, in the past year with the photo editor category. A lot of apps were just coming up with this title, which was photo editor plus some kind of symbol. The reason why they were doing that is because the titles like that are indexed by the algorithm as an exact match for the keyword photo editor, which was ultimately pushing them up in the ranks for the search term. However, of course, we don't, if we can go back, thanks. Of course, we don't really suggest you uh, to use this tactic for two reasons. First of all, App Store algorithm has become smarter, so these apps are being pushed down right now. And secondly, which is more important for our presentation, this will definitely not help you to build your brand in any way. So next one is your subtitle or marketing tagline. So make sure your marketing tagline is up to 30 characters long and keyword optimized, because now you can also use it as subtitle. Again, here we have a nice synergy because from the keyword optimization perspective, you can use the strongest keywords in one of the best places for that. And from the branding perspective, you have actually consistency throughout your channels. And again, this will help you to bring up your brand awareness with time. And another one, which is the icon, we're coming back to it again. Because regardless of how good the results are in our tests, we often cannot really apply them. And take the full advantage of them for our clients, because icon seems to be the most rigid asset from the branding perspective, which is why if you're still building your brand, we recommend you to use one or both of those two best practices. So first of them, including a word mark with your brand inside of your icon will help you, is actually investing in your brand recognition. And the second one, which is including a symbol that will help users to understand what your app is doing, this is actually contributing to your acquisition efforts right now. And we are seeing really powerful results from both of them. Yeah. Second one actually is more useful for an established company who is going through the rebranding, and we're going to talk about ASO A/B testing. So you can leverage ASO A/B testing for your rebrand for two main things. First of them is, again, to create the converting icon. So here you can see the real examples. This is from our client who is currently going through a rebranding process, and we're helping them by testing out some of their options for their icons. And these are the results from two very similar icons, but performing very differently. And second one, which is very important, ASO A/B testing and ASO in general can help you develop the tone of voice and messaging that resonates with your users. So here on the side, you can see the creative metrics that we've been using lately to quickly and with a high quality come up with new ideas for testing short descriptions, but it doesn't have to be short description. It can be any textual assets and general messaging. So the way it works on the vertical, you have, in this case, on the vertical, we have the apps features, and on the horizontal axis, we have the benefits. And then we have different appeals. And basically, crisscrossing them, we are coming up with different type of messaging based on different features that can be used. They can be interesting for users more or less. So you can also change the axis, verticals and horizontals, but still using the same appeals, and this will definitely help you to work out the best messaging that can work for you. Here you can also, you have the link. We will share the presentation after we finish. We will share the PDF, and at this link you can find the article from the ASO stack, where you can read more about this approach, how you can use it, and which results you can get from it.
Great, thanks, Katya. So to sum up all that we said today, first, while branded keywords are better for organic installs, ASO managers still mostly work with generic keywords and have zero to no influence on brand. That's status quo. Now, to maximize organic potential of an app on any app store, building a brand is key. Brand marketing for mobile apps is a function of promise. It's your marketing, user acquisition, ads, and performance. It's actually your product. When those things are in perfect match, great brands are built. Now you can leverage your existing brand in ASO through adding brand keywords to metadata, branding your creatives, and driving more quality app and web referral traffic. And you can help to build a brand with ASO by optimizing keyword app store assets before brand guidelines are set in stone, and leverage ASO A/B testing for rebranding. Now, as a final word, uh, once again from that article by Sensor Tower, they said that from workplace productivity to shopping to education, Americans are turning to enterprises that have long established brands for answers. We believe that it's not just Americans, and it's not just in times of COVID-19. Uh, Always great brands are very, very important for any business, and mobile apps as well. So please, uh, hope hope that we've inspired you a little bit to kind of to understand a little bit better the brand side of things, and hopefully we help you to build a brand for your mobile app with the help of ASO. Thank you very much. And yeah, also, if you have any questions after the presentations, you are super free to hit me or Katya on email. We'll be super happy to talk to you. Thanks.
Great, thanks, guys. That was a kind of lot to cover, and really interesting how you are linking the brand stuff to the ASO stuff. We're going to take some Q&A now. So you kind of dealt with this a bit during the presentation about how it's someone's asking, you know, it's not a good idea. Is it a good idea to put competitors' brand in the App Store description? And you said you'd be penalized. I mean, is there any sort of conversion benefit or any other reasons you would put the competitor brand in the App Store description?
Well, you definitely do not want to do that, right?
Right.
The only way you can try to use other brands is actually in your Apple search ads if you're running Apple search ads.
Mm.
But putting other brands in your description is sort of a black hat tactic. We definitely do not advise to do that.
And
Got it.
this is also true for the metadata. Actually, this is not something that we would recommend. This was just mentioned as a great technique that some people might use, but this is not what we would do at
Mm.
Phiture.
And someone's asking, when you're working with clients, how do you attribute, you know, improvement in say traffic from app stores? What if it's all branded keywords? Then, say they're doing a big out-of-home campaign, you know, that's obviously going to drive more installs. How do you then normalize to say, well, this is the value of the ASO work?
Also, again, it depends on the situation, because we've seen this with some of our clients. If there is a big out-of-home campaign, for example, then we would see a completely different trend line. So basically, you will see a huge uplift, and then it will be going all the way through the out-of-home campaign, and then it will be slightly going down and down and down until it becomes back to normal, until it goes back to normal or slightly higher than it was before. So if we are looking at the ASO efforts, if we're talking about, for example, metadata that we are updating based on the recommendations that we've just provided with this presentation, for example, including certain misspellings or abbreviations, then this is the keywords we should be looking at. So if we are seeing the improvements there, if you see suddenly that you are number one and you were unranked, and then you see that this keyword is really searched, it's like it has search popularity of like 70, for example, then, well, obviously, if at the same time you were running the out-of-home campaign, you will not notice that on the download. And there is no way how you can attribute this specifically to this activities. But if there was no campaign and then you see those improvements, then yeah, there is a way.
Someone's saying, Erica is saying, I'm seeing lots of generic words that are branded. The best example is meetup. How do I deal with words like this? I guess I could. So, is she suggesting, look, how can I use that as a if that's a brand, am I going to be penalized by using it as a keyword?
No, definitely
Right.
not. I mean, these are free to use because
Right.
they also have a
That's
generic
what
meaning.
happens often, for example, with like hotel apps who are using the word booking in their metadata, like in itself is like a generic keyword, right? Or there are many apps which use those generic keywords as their brand name, and like in general, what we see is when you use them, you won't be penalized. You can actually do that since it's a really generic keyword.
Got it. And if you're going sort of what someone's asking, what would you suggest is the best app keyword research tool for a pre-launch strategy?
Could you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
So what would you suggest as the best app keyword research tool for a pre-launch strategy? I guess we could widen it out and say pre-launch, you know, what sort of activities should you be doing in terms of keyword research for an app?
Mhm. So I guess here we're talking about, yeah, so you will definitely have to work through the category you will be launching at, and you should be looking at your competitors, so what exactly they are doing and what keywords they are targeting, specifically what would be relevant for your app. I mean, we are using as a standard, we're using Uptweak, and I think it's very good for keyword research. I mean, I'm pretty sure there are plenty of other tools out there. You just have to check, but Uptweak is a really good one.
Got it. And someone's asking, Katharina is asking, what do you do if a competitor's stealing keywords of brands and advertising there? I'm not sure if they mean using Apple search ads. You know, does it dilute the brand? Does competitors benefit from it? I'm not sure what they mean there. I mean, there's a couple here saying what happens when, you know, brands are coming from competitors' keywords. Again, I don't know if they mean organically or via search ads.
I mean, organically it shouldn't be happening, right? Because App Store should actually penalize those things. I guess if they don't penalize it, and you can prove that a competing app is actually using your brand name, you can somehow talk to your Apple representative regarding that. In terms of Apple search ads, if someone is using your brand name and targeting you, I guess there are a bunch of like strategies how you can actually like win those keywords back. Basically, like, I don't know, increasing beats or like adjusting your Apple search ads strategy. Yeah,
and this is kind of relates to your point about interaction between brand and app title and the ASO elements. So someone's saying changing your keywords in app title and subtitle sounds like a no-brainer from a search perspective, but what about the impact on the dilution of brand identity? You know, how do you persuade a big brand to focus on the keywords and the ASO and not their app brand? Or
well, I'd say that it's about like finding a balance, and we never suggest to big brands to like scrape the brand name and just use high traffic keywords. It's mostly about like finding a balance of like preserving the brand name but adding also some like what your app is about. Like, I don't know, like you can see like Uber, and you can also like Uber is a short word, so you can add like a taxi, like, I don't know, some other generic keywords there. Or like, if there is always, unless like the brand name is super huge and actually occupies all of the allowed space and like title, you can actually find a way to include the app name, I mean brand name, and also a few generic keywords. You just need to like figure out which generic keywords. Well, you shouldn't be doing this keyword stuff in title where you just, you know, add a bunch of keywords which have high traffic. This won't work. People don't really like that. So you need to find a balance between like preserving your brand name and adding some generic keywords, which organically can be put in there and actually like relatively have a size which allows them to be put in the app title.
Got it. Okay. Well, I think we've covered most of those questions. And what I suggest to anyone is to follow up with you directly. You've got your emails there. We'll be sharing the recording and the slides. I think you're kind enough to also be sharing the slides, so that's great. And thanks very much for coming on today. That's really great. And hopefully see you at another App Promotion Summit event quite soon. Hopefully in Berlin, at least in December in the real world, or any other further online ones we do. Tomorrow we've got some more content. We'll be talking to Google about Google app campaigns. There's a webinar on that. We'll also have Nick Duddy, who will be doing some cohort analysis in Python. If you want to get really techie, that was supposed to be last week, but we had a few technical issues. So that's going on tomorrow. Lots more on Wednesday. So yeah, we look forward to keeping in touch with you this week. And thanks to Anton and Katya. So see you all soon. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. Thanks, guys, for attending the webinar.
Thank you.